Hey guys, what's going on? We got another Enhancement Shaman solo shuffle here. We're on the alt. We're at like 2300 or something, somewhere around there. And yeah. Anyways, I just want to say, I don't know about you guys, but I know the PvP season's coming to an end, but PvP has gotten less and less and less fun. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts. But anyways, let's get into this. So we got a Beastmaster Hunter on my team. I'm the Enhanced Shaman. We got a Resto Shaman. We are fighting a Disc Priest, Rep Paladin, and an Ellie Shaman. So, main kind of focus here is going to be the Rep Paladin because chasing around an Ellie Shaman isn't always the best idea, but at the same time, hitting him and getting some cleave is always good. But I can shut down an Ellie Shaman a bit better than I can a Rep Paladin at the same time, just from being afar. But it's really hard to say. I found it was a lot easier, but I'm just going to attack whatever is closest to me. So here we get hit with a pretty solid 3-man fear. I could have tremored it, probably should have, but I didn't. I felt like the 2 seconds wasn't quite worth it, but anyways. So here we're pressuring out the ret. You can just see the amount of damage we're getting, and you can see by the details that we're not really doing as much damage, but it's okay. Here we get a nice bubble. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna waddle my butt all the way over to the Ellie Shaman, start hitting him. He's got wall up, but I can't hit the Ret Pally because he's got bubble up, so it doesn't really matter. Here they start they do a little swap to our Resto Shaman, but he's not too bothered. So I'm gonna pull out Rocky here, get a little bit of defense here. He gets a hex off on my Resto Shaman, so I go ahead, dispel that right away as soon as I can. Drop the grounding totem, and I throw an Ellie blast into it. Perfect. I love that. That doesn't annoy me at all. But here, I get Searing Glare, not much I can do, so I'm just going to jump over to the Shaman, kill his Wrath Totem. Okay, perfect. They are playing really close to a wall here, which is kind of where I got to be careful. I don't want to get pulled or knocked into a bad spot, so I got to be very careful here. But he ends up using his knock, which is perfect, because now I don't have to worry about going behind there. But at the same time, I'm getting railed right now, taking a huge amount of damage. The Shaman does a nice link right there. Perfect. Keeps me alive. I have wall coming right back up, so I go ahead and use it. We get a huge amount of damage on the Ret Pal. You can just see I'm trying to smash my Lava Lash button, and we finally kill him. Thankfully, because it was getting a little dicey there. Anyways, on to the next one. It's me and the Ellie Shaman with the Disc Priest against the Ret Beastmaster Hunter. Now, Cupid, this is what that comp's called. It's called Cupid. This is one of the comps that I have the most difficulty with as an Enhancement Shaman, especially in like 3v3s, like with teams. It's usually difficult, but Solo Shuffle slightly different. But anyways, same plan. Beat the crap out of the Ret Pally as much as possible. Perfect. We get bubble really early. Since he's in bubble, we're gonna switch right over to the BM Hunter, but now he's out of bubble, so nice lasso, and we're just gonna beat the crap out of the Ret Pally as much as we can. But remember, cleaving is always good, especially against a BM Hunter, where you can get a huge amount of damage. So you can see there I got a nice little stun with my Cap Totem. Although it was quite DR'd, it's still something worth using. But here we get a huge amount of damage onto the Ret. You can just see him. His HP is going up and down, up and down, up and down. That's what we want to see. But now he uses Magic Bop, so there's nothing I can do. I'm trying to click on whatever totem that is, but it ends up going away. I tried to interrupt that, but then I realized he's got Spell Bop on, which is really annoying, so I couldn't interrupt it. Quite unfortunate. And I don't have my macro set up for Bloodlust, so I go ahead and Bloodlust the Ellie, and then we switch over to the BM Hunter for a quick second. He uses wall, but since the Ret Pally's off to the pillar, I don't really want to chase that, so I'm just gonna, do what I can. But anyways, we're going right back to the Ret Pally. Drop my totem, huge hot hands window right here, big damage. Getting a Shield of Vengeance from him, nice knock. He's got his other defensive thingy up there. I don't know what it's called. They're Ret Pallies. They got a billion of them. I try and dodge the Cap Totem. Perfect. Go for the Hex onto the Resto, but the Hunter was watching me pretty quickly and gets it. But I end up getting the next cast, and the Priest does a nice follow-up with the Fear. Cap Totem right off of that. Huge amount of damage, and the Ret Pally falls over. Perfect. It was a really nice Fear by the Priest. It was awesome, and it allowed me to follow up with a good cap totem to make sure he stayed CC and couldn't get any link off. But here, I got a nice little route on everybody. I'm not sure why the hunter was following the LE shaman. It's kind of interesting. But anyways, our main focus here is going to be sitting on this shaman. The reason being is because I find Beastmaster hunters have a lot more mobility and a lot more defense than an LE shaman. Plus, you can kind of shut down a LE shaman's damage just by hitting him and making him panic, keep him moving so he can't sit there and spam lightning bolt and stuff like that, or cast hex, whatever. You can shut it down. But I'm also not doing a very good job at interrupting the priest here, so that's one of the big things. But the other shaman there, and you can see my NVIDIA, I don't know why that popped up, but it did. Here's a mass dispel. I'm not sure what that came from. I'm not sure why, but he did. Must have been bubble. Yeah, it was bubble. Okay, I didn't see that. Good mass dispel from him. But here I get feared. Our resto shaman doesn't tremor me, which is fine. Not too worried. He probably could have got the other tremor, but there I get double interrupted, which is perfect because that means my resto shaman can free cast. And there he gets a really quick proc. Luckily I had grounding totem down to catch that. That would have been a huge amount of damage and that would have been really scary. But there the priest gets ultimate penitence, but I don't have grounding to catch that, which really sucks because that's a huge amount of damage. But here they all kind of stack up, so I'm just going to stick to them and just do as much damage as possible. And you can just see we're slowly, ever so slowly, just about to whittle him down. The priest goes for a cast, go for the interrupt, perfect. And then he gets the life swap off, and that is a huge, huge play by the priest. It really sucked. It was really demoralizing for me because I was like, oh, he's almost dead, but he's not. So I go ahead and hex the hunter just to get some damage reduction, but he ends up trinketing it, so it was kind of pointless in the end, which really sucked. The shaman just gets the link off, but the BM hunter is just murking us, absolutely destroying us. I don't know what the heck that was, but we just all got deleted at the same time. I don't know. Something that BM hunter did was just destroying us into oblivion. But anyways, it's me, the BM hunter, and we're going to attack the whatever this thing is, this pink thing, paladin. That's what it is. We're going to do as much damage to it as possible, also whilst making a couple swaps. So there I interrupted the lava burst. It's not the worst thing to interrupt, but you can see the paladin's kind of trying to run behind the pillar. I don't really want to follow that because I want to make sure I'm in line of sight of my priest. So I'm going to go ahead and just run out one of these shamans here, just so that way I don't get pulled behind a pillar. It does kind of suck, but I'd rather be out in the open where my priest can see me rather than go behind a pillar, get hodged, and deleted by a rep pally. So you can see here I jump over, just hitting this guy, trinket the lasso because there's not much else I can trinket. So our priest gets hodged, but I'm not too worried because there wasn't really a huge amount of damage going out. I didn't have grounding totem either, so I couldn't catch anything, but there he gets hexed. I could have grounded it or interrupted it, but I felt like it would have been better for me just to dispel it. I don't know. That's how I felt. But here, they get a huge amount of damage. There's the life swap. Quite unfortunate. A bit of an overlap with my stone bulwark, which really sucked, but it is what it is. I also don't think we've gotten bubble at this point, so we're really lagging behind here, which really, really sucks. We haven't gotten a huge amount of damage out yet. But there's a Stormkeeper from the LE Shaman, so I'm going to go ahead and grounding, hope I catch something out of it. Don't quite catch anything. There's this Primordial Wave. Definitely should have held it for another second or two because then I could have caught the Primordial Wave. But here I start taking a lot. I got wall back, so I go ahead and use it because I know I'm the target. I'm taking a lot of damage, so go ahead and wall, make sure I am staying alive. So the Paladin makes a run, the LE Shaman kind of makes a run as well, but I'm going to chase after the LE Shaman, since to me the Paladin's a bit more scarier, especially when going behind a pillar. So here he Searing Glares me, which is fine, so I'm just going to reapply Earth Shield, you know, get some healing off, not worry about too much damage. Chase after this LE Shaman just for a second, swap back a little bit to the Rep Pally, but also just trying to generate and survive, but can't quite survive, just get taken out by these two, which sucked. But anyways, this is a really close match. It's me and the Rep Pally. versus Ellie BM. Again, the BM hunter is kind of hugging the shaman, which is weird. But as you saw there, I targeted a pet to Primordial Wave. Reason being is because I had just put my totem down. I wanted to flame shock as many targets as possible. I was kind of crossing my fingers that the Ellie shaman would get caught up in it too, but he didn't, so it was quite unfortunate. But as you can see, we are just trucking this shaman into oblivion. You just see his health going down. So I get a bit low, so I just go ahead and wall. I know my priest is being CC'd as well, so we're falling a bit behind here. They got bubble, they got my wall. Quite unfortunate, but we're just gonna keep on training this shaman as much as we can. So here I probably should have went for some sort of hex, but I didn't. So he gets hexed. I go ahead and dispel as soon as I can. Perfect. He gets a nice fear on top of that into a hodge onto the resto shaman. So I get a huge amount of damage here. We got hot hands rolling. We got damage rolling into this shaman like no tomorrow. He starts dropping earthquakes on us, so I'm trying to step out of it. Make sure I'm not getting any form of stun, because earthquake does stun you if you stand in it long enough, or at least has a chance to. So here the paladin's getting trucked by the BM hunter. Same with me. We're just getting absolutely decimated. This BM hunter is just doing so much damage, it's insane. But there I see a cap totem. Frost shock it is dead. Perfect. We don't have to worry about stunned. The Ellie shaman's going for hexes. We go ahead, keep those interrupted. There's the link. I tried to knock it but didn't quite get it, but you know, it was enough for the BM hunter to not be in it that we just get a little bit ahead here. Perfect. So now he goes for the hex. I see it coming. Boom. Instant dispel. Perfect. Priest is right out of it. Now he's on DR. No point in the resto shaman dispelling him. Pally runs off into the pillar, which seemed a bit odd to me, but kind of makes sense, I guess, to stay alive. But I always prefer to be in my healer's line of sight, and I don't think backing off is really going to put us in a good spot here. So I'm just going to charge forward as much as I can. So you can see here, we get a huge amount of damage. There's a nice cap totem. Perfect. We get big damage. The paladin just survives by the priest getting him with a swap. So we're right there. We're right there. Drop grounding, and it's just enough. The priest gets a bubble, and we just kill him. Oh man, that just had me on the edge of my seat. It was a sliver of HP. It was crazy. So now we got the triple shaman combo, which is pretty crazy. I think we definitely should have won this, but I think a few mistakes were made. But anyways, let's get into this. So the paladin runs off to the pillar, so I just start on the priest a little bit, get a bit of damage, and I'm just getting railed, right? So I don't want to pop my defensive right away. I see the priest going in, but I start pressuring him to get him to back off a little bit, just so that way my healer doesn't get feared. So here they get a lot of damage. I'm just going to back off for a sec, go for a hex, but he ends up deathing it. I probably should have baited that out, but didn't. The Ellie shaman is definitely getting wrecked here. I didn't really have anything, so I start spamming heals on him. The resto shaman just gets a link off in time, thankfully. So, but it really sucks. He had to link, and then he has to drop tied in melee combat, and the paladin goes ahead and kills it right away, which really sucked. But we get bubble out of the ret paladin. I go ahead and lasso the BM hunter, get a little bit of damage stoppage right there. Perfect earthquake stun. That was insane timing. Right on his disengage, so I'm gonna hit him, and then paladin's bubble dropped, so I'm gonna go back to him, start beating him up. Nice lasso from the resto shaman. Perfect. See the priest go for a flash heal, missed the kick because I'm amazing and I really suck at kicking people, which sucks. But yeah, so I'm gonna back off here. Lust, go for a hex here on the BM hunter. I want to stop a bit of damage, but he ends up trinketing anyways, so it really sucked. But here we get a huge amount of damage. We just start pressuring this ret, but he ends up getting pain suppression, right? So it really sucks. We get a hex off on the priest, but he ends up deathing it, which is quite unfortunate. But the big thing here is I'm not paying attention to what the BM hunter is doing to my healer. And I should be, because I should be grounding traps rather than nothing. Unfortunately, I end up trinketing here. But I don't have tremor. This is where the Ellie shaman should have had, or is the resto shaman that had tremor. I don't know if he was out of it or not, but it was quite unfortunate because we definitely kind of saw that coming. I bloodlust to try and heal, start putting a bit of damage, trying to generate some maelstrom, drop a grounding. try and catch some damage, but just wasn't enough. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know about the season so far for you guys. But anyways, thanks so much. Laters!